This is our background music.
All right, we're live.
There's something about paying my hydro bill and listening to this song that just kind of fits.
Ryan, that is just the way it is.
It is literally just the way it is.
I should keep this going the whole time.
Wait, get hit by some copyright stuff. On top of Ryan's hydro bill.
As long as we give credit, it's not shutting off.
Come on.
This is our life now.
That's just the way it is.
That's literally the way it is.
Okay, it's gone.
We are good.
All right. He's Vishal. He's Ryan. I'm Corey. This is Open Caller. Welcome. Brought to you by the good folks at 80stees.com. And Bruce Hornsby. That's just the way it is. Okay. Question. Random question.
Here we go.
Is cereal soup?
It is by definition soup, I think, yeah.
No.
Here we go. Definition of soup. A liquid dish,
no.
typically made by boiling meat, fish, or vegetables, etc., in stock or water. So, by definition, it is not soup. But is it, though?
I say no.
Because if it was, then you could have soup anytime.
Exactly. Whereas...
And you could also have cereal anytime.
No, I mean, I guess you could have soup anytime anyway, but really, if you're looking for an anytime liquid and solid situation, cereal's the go-to.
Okay,
it's not a soup. Are we just gonna say anything liquidy is soup? Anything
no,
liquidy?
it's got to be the combination of the liquid and the solid combination.
What about tomato soup? There's no solid portion.
Yeah, but it's like a mix of like solid and liquid still.
Or if you have just a broth, is that considered soup? Then it is just
like what about like cream of mushroom soup? Like that's not broth or water or anything like that. Like it's still like a creamy.
Yeah, but there's a
substance. Where do we draw the line, V? Where does it end?
I ended at cereal.
No. I
draw the line at cereal on this side, soup on the other side.
I think cereal is the breakfast soup. And you gotta separate your soup and your breakfast soup.
Then is a stew soup?
Also, yes. If we're encompassing everything, it's got to be the cereal and the stew.
I think more of a soup than cereal is, because I think that cereal is not a soup.
Is porridge soup?
But stew is a soup.
A breakfast type meal that can be had anytime.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I don't. Why would you bring up a question that's
down.
going to divide us like this? I'm pro cereal. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then,
I can't wait to enjoy a nice bowl of cereal soup after this is over.
Right? Nice soup, Rice Krispie. Lucky Charm soup. I also thought this was. Now, this is not really a funny story, but it was more of funny to my mindset. So we met at Tanger for our business meeting with Lids last week. Right. So while I was waiting for you, I decided to use the facilities. And as I was going in, out come two, I guess, custodial staff, both pushing carts. And then, so I, stepped out of the way. And then as I entered, there was a third cart there. So then I thought, was this like a fight to the death, like custodial fight club where only 3 men enter, two leave? There's no sign of a third individual, just an empty abandoned cart.
And if the two of them took in 3 carts, why would they just leave one?
Leave a cart, exactly. So it's like a ghost custodian.
Did you?
Maybe they got murdered and
maybe they flushed them. Maybe the other staff member was a fish that died, and they had to just flush him down the toilet. I mean, take him to fish land.
And circles back.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. We're off to a bang-up start.
Obviously.
So I didn't get to this last week because we were running long, though the live stream actually ran short with our technical difficulties. But we're, I think, about 2 weeks away from San Diego Comic-Con, the be-all, end-all for nerds. And so obviously with Disney now owned by Marvel, they no longer go to cons to do their presentation, do that stuff at D23, but Sony will have a representation. And they're going to have panels for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Venom, and possibly now look with the word that Jared Leto is Morbius, a Morbius panel possibly. Any interest in any of that?
Well, Into the Spider-Verse for sure for me.
Mm-hmm.
Venom, yes, to a point, but not to the levels of other like Marvel movies that are coming out.
I think the only way Venom can get me on board now is to tell you that it is secretly connected to what's going on with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
but if not, like I don't care as much for it. Unless I think what they might probably gonna do is build their Spider-Man universe around Venom with no Spider-Man.
Was he part of the Sinister Six? Like, is that what they were trying to do, or
Sinister Six is like there's various
revolving? Yeah,
like I think what they're planning on doing with like the Homecoming run of movies is more geared towards the original incarnation
of the Six,
because like Vulture was in it and
Scorpion,
Mysterio was in it, and Scorpion,
Rhino.
I think Rhino or
Doc Ock.
Yeah, I think Electro.
And Electro, yeah, that would be that's a solid 6.
That's a good Sinister Six right there.
that's a sinister.
That's a solid 6. Yeah, solid 6.
But the Jared Leto thing, I don't know. I'm on him.
I read a lot of Spider-Man comics and I watched a lot of the 94 cartoon like we all did.
Yes.
I like Morbius in that itself, but I never read enough of him to actually care that they're making a movie. I think making movies solely built around villains is the wrong move.
Yeah, well, that was what we talked about in one of our first episodes when we talked about Venom. Like a Venom movie without Spider-Man.
Well, I think their whole universe, they were going to do a Venom movie, now Morbius. They were planning on doing a Sinister Six movie. They're planning on doing a Black Cat and Silver Sable movie. Like those are all villains.
Yeah.
So turning villains into heroes for the purpose of making movies, I think stupid. Like just look at Suicide Squad.
God, that was so bad.
That got so hyped too. Like they really.
Will the Thrill was in it, right?
Yeah.
And then DC has 2 competing Joker movies.
Right.
Like
that's
and which is hilarious considering like if you read anything about Joker over the past 70 years that he's been around, his origin has always been like opaque at best. Like has always been clouded and mystery as to who he is and where he's come from.
That was kind of the idea, right? Like that's
the whole point.
What they wanted.
But now you're going to do 2 movies that are based solely around him. Of course, you're going to explore origins.
Yeah, well, Marvel has to pump out their 60 movies a year.
3.
Yeah, 3. Can do more than 3. And I also thought this was funny that word we're going around the trades was that there's going to be a surprise Comic-Con appearance for the new Wonder Woman.
What is it called? Wonder Woman?
They keep hyping as WW84.
Yeah.
What I couldn't stress is that every article titled surprise appearance, they're reporting on a surprise appearance. So is it a surprise anymore?
Well, it's still we don't know what the appearance is going to be, right?
That's a surprise, I guess.
That's the surprise.
The only surprise is if they can justify how Stephen Trevor's in it.
Flashbacks, time travel.
No, he's in there alternate now. Like, he is in 1984. So if he didn't die, or it's his grandkid, or Martian Manhunter just took his form,
they'll figure it out.
Yeah, and we will eat it up because it's Wonder Woman.
Yeah. It was okay the first time, and then it was
less and less.
How bad? Then it was. Oh my god! How bad is that third act the second time?
Yeah, so bad. It was fine until she got off the island.
So,
hey, just like Lost.
So when she's done, was it Themyscira or whatever? Amazon town?
Amazon, yeah.
Yeah. And then the fish out of water played okay for a bit, and then he got tired really quickly. Yeah. Now, one thing I wanted to bring up was, did you see that story going around about Serena Williams ranking for Wimbledon or the U.S. Open?
No,
I have not.
Is she not going to be number one?
Well, that's what this whole thing is. It's the U.S. Open. Sorry, U.S. Open is going to change their seeding process in the wake of her pregnancy leave. Essentially, it reads like they're going to hold her spot because she was gone for like a year.
I don't know how I necessarily feel about that. I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, like that's. I mean, she's clearly the best in the world.
Yeah. Does that allow like special exceptions?
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't be able to just that's how do you differentiate a pregnancy leave from like an injury?
A medical leave or something.
She was number one, and then she was off for 13 months, come back, and now she's 454. And at the French Open, she didn't get like the preferred seed, and so she had a tougher path to the final before bowing out from injury. Now,
so again, give her the seed because she had a baby.
Why she just give her the trophy?
That was my argument too. Like if you were, let's say,
see more tennis players getting pregnant in the wake of this decision.
Right, like if you think about it, let's take Tiger Woods as an example here.
Say if he gets pregnant,
like he had elective back surgery, right? So if he was number one at the time and decided I need to get something done about my back, I'm deciding to have this surgery.
Yeah.
Does the PGA say, okay, take your time, you'll be number one when you come back?
Yeah, your spot's still here. I don't think it necessarily should work that way.
And especially the way tennis rankings work, it's like you can't.
It's a grind.
Yeah, and you can't only play in majors. Like there's 4 majors in the year, and if you play all of them and win all of them, you'll be number one for sure. But if just because you do well in those doesn't mean that you're going to be number one, because there might be someone else that's playing in smaller tournaments and like racking up their points that way. And like it's not really fair to them that just because you were number one at the time and then you had to leave for whatever reason it is, injury, pregnancy, you just wanted to take some time off, whatever the case is, if you're not playing and you're not getting the points, then you shouldn't be like.
I think it punishes the person that didn't take the time off and grinded and stayed with it and got to the top just to be told, hey, so Serena, she had a thing. So I know you've been really working hard at this.
But like you get it, right?
Yeah. I mean, come on, Serena. Like, what are you going to do?
It does open the door for other excuses, right?
It's exactly
what happened. An excuse, right?
It's exactly what happened with the guys' side when when Murray got injured, when Djokovic has been injured. Federer didn't play the entire clay season. He'll be back for Wimbledon. But, just because of that, it doesn't mean that other people's rankings should either like kind of only be able to peak at 2 or 3 or 4 because, these guys are obviously the top 4 in the world. So, everyone's competing for 5th. Like, it really shouldn't work that way at all. And it didn't for the guys and shouldn't for the girls.
And we're not comparing pregnancies to injuries, though.
But
we should. Maybe we should. Well, at least a little bit.
You're right. Injuries aren't planned. And whereas like pregnancies generally are. But still, like if you want to stay number one, if you want to retain that title, then you would probably push. If it was that important to you, right? You would.
Yeah, it's less comparison. It's more of an elective leave for.
Well, think of how many people make sacrifices to follow their career and their their sport and not have kids and not do that stuff. And I don't think you should necessarily be punished for having a baby, but I don't think other people should be punished for not having a baby and chasing their career and doing the right thing and sticking with it.
See, I look at it this way. They're making a big deal about her, obviously, because she is the best, if not one of the best. Now, if she is indeed the best or one of the best, it really shouldn't matter. She can get there on her own.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you were saying, she has a harder draw, but it really shouldn't matter. There's
Yeah,
really
well, look, the French Open, she was at 454. She wasn't a ranked seed. She had a tougher draw, and she got pretty much to like not the finals, but the round before, like the fourth round, and then bowed out. And she would have faced Sharapova, which she probably would have faced in the final anyway.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
it's weird. They definitely set up their draws so that at least for the men's side, they try and face it. They try and draw it out so that by the time you get to the quarterfinals, you have Djokovic, Murray, Federer, and Nadal. And it sucks if two of them are on the same draw along the path, so that one of them gets knocked out before then. But that's what happens if one of them's not in the top 4, then two of them are going to end up in the same sort of quadrant of the draw, and like that's what happens. That's
sport. That's part of it.
Yeah, exactly. It sucks that what potentially could have been a finals is now happening in a quarterfinals. But I mean, how many times does that? Yeah, how many times does that happen in hockey, baseball, football? Like where the two best teams.
We consider that almost the final.
Yeah, well, that's what they said, right? With
the Western Conference Finals, and then
the NBA, the Rockets and Warriors. That was the true final. Those top two teams, right?
Exactly. So, like, just you can't be like, oh well, we're gonna give you a pass to the finals. We know you didn't make it, or we know that you had a rough last couple months, but based on potential and based on
ratings, based on whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's a no-go for me. It's a no for me, dog.
Hold on. Ryan.
No.
Sorry, Serena.
Maybe in California. Oh. You guys been following the Tavares sweepstakes?
I heard a little bit about it today.
Pretty excited to see where he's going, minus the fact, unless he goes to Toronto.
Well, they said this might be the last time we have a free agent like this ever go to market. Because they thought the biggest thing was going to be when Stamkos went, but he never did. Yeah. So I think before that they're comparing it to, what's his face, Scott Niedermayer's last. He went to market. I never really thought Scott Niedermayer was a big draw, but
I feel like he was a not like a hometown hero, but he was Alfredson was just when he left, it was people just always saw him in Ottawa and didn't want to see him anywhere else. And
it's with Borke when he went to Colorado.
Exactly. And I assume it's the same with Niedermayer.
But we have 6 teams: Tampa, Toronto, San Jose, Dallas, Boston, and the Islanders. Where do you think he ends up? Yeah. With everyone saying the top 2 are going to be either he goes to Toronto or he stays.
I think he stays.
You think it's a good move for him
to stay? To win a cup?
Not even just to win a cup. Just think of the Islanders franchise as a whole, where it currently stands, where you think it could possibly go, and to sign long-term to be there.
Yeah, I think you need to move somewhere.
If your options, just look at these 6 teams. Your options are Islanders, where they currently stand, or a Tampa, who basically was what? They were went away?
Tampa would be a good fit.
Tampa would be,
San Jose, put them over the top. Vander Kane, Thornton's going to stay.
He's going to be a number 1 center, right?
Yeah.
I just want to go to a team that has one and play second-line minutes, and he's not going to want to play wing. I mean, he might, but he could, but
put him on the PP with Thornton, getting fed by Thornton and Kane.
Yeah, there would be a lot of good combinations, but you can't have. I mean, I guess you could have just a stacked first line and play that way, and that way you get a lot of options for special teams and stuff like that. But I mean, he's gonna want first line center minutes, right? He's gonna want captain credentials,
captain status.
Yeah, which he'll probably get without having the C on his jersey, but I'm pretty sure he would want the C on his jersey also.
Well, if he goes to Toronto, he can make that part of his demands.
Oh, and they'll do it.
Oh yeah, well that's where he lives. He lives in Toronto. He's up there now.
Hanging
or in
in.
our
Like-
case, down there now.
I think he would fit well in Toronto for sure. But there's also something to be said about playing for the same team your whole career and kind of leading them somewhere that they weren't able to go before,
I think that's overrated unless you win a championship.
Really? Like, even because like they haven't done much since.
Like if you spend 25 years win nothing,
Yeah, but if you spend
What does it
25
matter?
years and well, yeah, for sure. Like for
and then no one's paying 25 years. Let's say 10 years.
personal goals, yeah, okay, not winning a cup or anything. But if you can, as someone like a lifer on a team, and you can build up the league and build up that team and build up interest in that team for a large period of time, like I would consider that a success
let's
too.
look at this way. You're John Tavares. You were drafted by the Islanders. You stayed. You played 15 years. You retired. Let's say leading scorer all time. You're in the New York market where you have the Yankees, the Jets, the Giants, the Knicks, the Rangers, then you with the Islanders, even if you're that high up.
Yeah.
Does that mean that much to you?
No, I'm just saying, like, there's definitely something to be said about being that guy, because like it's not like he's just there playing hockey, right? He's got other stuff going on there too.
I gotta have to side with Corey. I think like I like the idea of like being okay with being a hometown hero and building a community. But I agree with Corey that I think it's the wrong community to do it in. I don't think
give a shit about the Islanders.
I don't think the Islanders are enough of a franchise in that area, let's say.
Like they're going to play in 2 arenas next year.
Yeah, I think if you're even going to consider that mentality, I think you'd be better off in doing it in a place like Toronto. Even like a place like
you'll
Tampa.
be a hero there.
Exactly.
If he goes to Tampa Bay, like that's going to be a
Lights out.
super tough team to beat.
I like it in Tampa. I think it'd be a good fit in Tampa, and I think that's a little bit
it though. Like with they have a lot of
they
have a lot of high.
I don't know what their books look like offhand, but
well, they were in the Carlson running before they got was Callahan. So yeah, I think they can make it work.
I think they can figure it out.
Stevie Y can figure it out.
Yeah,
there's one guy can do it.
He can do anything.
Yeah, look what he's done there for in a short amount of time. But no, it'd be interesting just to see what happens if he does go to Toronto. Just again from being the hometown.
I think that would be it's one of those things. Like it would be a huge boost to Toronto hockey, but like not like they need it.
No.
That's
it's just more scrutinized if it was wrong, right?
It would be a huge boost to any market he goes to. But it's just like Toronto is just a place that they could and have been for a bunch of years playing with nobodies and still filling stadiums or at least selling out seats, whether they fill them or not.
Oh, they're all sold. They're the wait list.
Yeah. So it's not like Toronto needs that boost, but it would just get a bigger boost from that.
So you guys looking to watch the free agency on Monday when it starts, or Sunday? Sorry,
I'll keep an eye on it. I don't know if I'll watch it.
I will be working, so I'll be relying on you, Corey, to keep me updated on everything.
Ban-it.
We could do like a Trade Center podcast.
Yeah,
just 8 hours.
We could do that Sunday night. Discuss.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Try to get more ratings in.
What about? Did you hear the rumor that LeBron texted Kevin Durant?
I saw that about an hour ago.
To say, hey, why don't we try to have a go on the Lakers? What do you think of that?
Like texted LAL and it's like, oh, sorry, I meant LOL.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, so subtle. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd be okay with it. I mean, I think I would be more than okay with that.
I don't know if Durant's going to leave basically a championship team. I think Golden State's got another couple of years in them.
But I mean, don't you think he'd basically but those two
would Durant and LeBron be like too strong to anyone to oppose? I guess is your
exactly
question.
Yeah. Would they really need I feel like if he just switches, it's not like he's just going by himself to a team with nobodies and then having a go at it.
You get Paul George to go with them. Yeah, that'd be a pretty strong team.
He's got LeBron on his side. Like, I think that they would be pretty dominant.
LeBron, I think they'd have to get rid of Lonzo though. I think Lonzo Ball would have to be out. Nobody wants to deal with that.
No, it's too much.
So you'd get rid of Ball, you bring in LeBron.
He's probably fine. It's his dad that's like.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, that's the actual problem.
Because like I don't think I've ever actually heard Ball speak ever. Like,
no,
it's always like it's always his dad like speaking for him or
he
on
talks
him.
for all the boys. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. And it's so ridiculous. I'm like, wait, I want to hear this guy like talk about his game, not
somebody
his
else.
Dad just like compliment his game so
he's
hard.
like, it's like Tyson and Don King.
That's right.
Don Diddle talking and Tyson just sat back.
Took punches until he needed to win, and then knock people out.
But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what goes good. Wasn't Klay Thompson that said that he took a discount to stay there? Or no, it was Draymond Green. Draymond Green was the one that said
Green
that.
did.
Yeah.
That was smart. That was really smart.
Yeah, for him, absolutely.
So now he wants to get paid. So
yeah, that probably results in him getting traded. I think.
I feel like if they're like,
Draymond's gone and Durant leaves, and maybe it could be the downward spiral that may or may not happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he'd be.
It's the NBA, right? It's like just look like sometimes you get there and then you win, and then just everybody leaves. Like the Heat.
I think Durant responds to that text to LeBron saying, instead of us going to the Lakers, how about you take a huge pay cut, come to Golden State, and we'll win 3 more championships.
The Marion Hossa.
Well, wasn't that the original plan for everyone going to the Heat? Like, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. Like, they only got 2. What, they got 2 there?
2,
right?
Yeah.
2. They got 2. They lost 2.
And they lost 2. Yeah.
So,
and the first year was a bust.
Yeah. So, like, does it turn into that situation where it's like, no, why don't you come here and win 3 more? But then if they don't.
It's like if you can't beat him, join a mentality.
That's the NBA for a while, though, now. Like, that's what Durant did.
Exactly. I was just going to say.
And isn't that what's been... Wait, is baseball salary capped now yet, or no?
No.
Still no.
No, it's tax.
No.
Yeah.
It's still ridiculous.
Yeah, like, it's like the Yankees just buying championships for so long until...
They still are doing it. They're just not winning championships.
Same with the Dodgers do it. Red Sox do it. There's a couple other teams that are like pretty high up there.
They're trying, and it's definitely much more fun when you get like a lot of good players. Well, even if you have a lot of good players on one team, but there's still, if they're not winning, it still makes them have to try a bit harder, because like that's way, I don't know, I feel like I would be way more embarrassed if I had an all-star team and didn't win, because I was like, if I have an off night, I have 3 other Hall of Famers here that can do whatever.
Yeah.
And if like all of you guys have an off season, that's pretty embarrassing, I would say.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from that.
Yeah. Because then you can't even be like, well, it was just me, and I had to carry the whole team on my back, and
in baseball, it's that you get them off the juice and they don't do nothing. A-Rod.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that bother anybody that he's like this big venture capitalist now that's doing all these startups on Shark Tank, and you're like, dude, you cheated for a living.
Yeah.
Why on earth would I ever think that your stock options are on the level?
Yeah, that's true. Very good point. I mean, there's a lot of people who like quote unquote cheated in baseball like during that time, right?
When everything was a bit like, oh well, we
just let it slide for a while.
All anyone had to do was walk out with that thing to measure your cranium and go, yep, well, you're on steroids.
Yeah. Mark McGuire, who wants to see me hit some dingers?
All you have to do is
it's just brain tonic.
Oh, Griffey. Just go back, watch Rookie of the Year, watch Barry Bonds strike out, and he weighed like $185, and then go see what he was when he was freaking crushing
like
monsters.
2012.
Yeah. He's like Trump's 239 pounds, all muscle.
Yeah, that was good baseball.
That was a good year, though.
That was a great year. Everyone had a good time.
That was the best home run derby, though.
Yeah.
It was just Sosa and McGuire just
4 hours long.
Yeah.
Everyone just knocking dingers out.
If they ever had a
baseball in its
baseball.
prime.
What was, and that was what? Was it 61? No. What was the number they had to beat?
65, I think.
65. And then it was like 70.
Yeah, and then it was 70. And then like
Have you seen Sammy Sosa now?
No.
He's like pink.
Probably has not aged well.
Sammy Rosa.
Yes. And we have our show title.
There you go. You're welcome.
That's what he's here for. It's marketing.
Yeah, that's all I got. Oh yeah, wow, he is like really light now, eh?
Right?
That is weird. It's like some Michael Jackson like shit.
Yeah, but like pink. And he likes wearing those like fedoras and like.
Well, I mean, who does?
Yeah, he got put in the friend zone at some point.
Let's just switch gears over to gaming a little bit. The NHL 19 trailer, you guys see that and the new offerings that they're doing?
I have not.
I saw bits of it. Are you talking about the outdoor stuff?
Yeah, so it's mostly now about creation. It sounds like. So when we all played in the TFT days before we blew out our knees and retired, so you had the EA Sports online hockey league. So that is one part of this hub. There's another part where it's like outdoor playing, but it's like one-on-one, and through your progression
like
through all of that. I guess
this is like NHL like Poor Edition or something. Like,
yeah, kind of.
Can't afford skates.
Pretty much, you're wearing your hoodies and your Canadian Tire jerseys with everything ironed on.
It's literally like career mode from the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
It's like fight night. You start in like the Bronx gym, way up, yeah.
You do like the scrimmages in like CTC with the other like 4-year-old kids just running around like getting the puck.
Yeah, future sends.
They should do a game where you have to like start your career and you have to play like Blades of Steel style. And then as you progress, you start getting into like the NHL 94, 95s.
You're fucking tidbits on the ice just falling down, mom and dad in the crowd just yelling shit at the ref.
Yeah. My son's
throwing popcorn.
Your dad's just fucking clocking the guy next to him because hack the bone.
What the pass?
Hey, Bat Dad, I didn't hear no bell.
Your team gets disqualified because the brawl.
Yeah.
Man, our games would be so much better.
I feel like the gameplay, it's pretty much peaked. Well,
that was my thing I was going to say, because again, this is based on progression through online play, through this new pawn mode, and what you're doing is through that you're unlocking stuff for your characters, your stuff for your online league. Like, at what point should they? Again, just looking at the Grand Theft Auto 5 model, is when do you stop doing year-over-year releases and just do content through? Yeah. Like, again, the mechanics are more or less the same.
Exactly the same.
The graphics don't really change. They just change the engine to make it seem like it's faster and more fluid. But just, again, like, because that was the whole point with Roy McIlroy on PS4 was that they were going to release content over time. I think they stopped because no one bought the damn game.
Hey, I still play it.
So yeah, just have NHL and then just keep adding like your jerseys if those change. You keep adding
just
your
patch it.
Yeah, and maybe charge for the year-over-year updates.
We were talking about a couple episodes ago with downloadable content, right? Is paying full price for the essentially the same game with like one new feature or a few different jerseys, whatever the case is. Just add a little DLC action. Be like, oh yeah, by the way, here's a new mode that you can play. If you want it, pay the $10 or $20 or whatever. And if you don't want it, you still get to play the same game essentially, which is what you're doing anyway.
Because I know you and I know that it comes out in September. I think it's the 14th of the Christmas, and by Boxing Day, that thing is on half price.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's every year.
Like, I don't get, again, the whole point of here we are. You buy a game September, by the next September, you get the exact same thing different guy on the cover. And yeah, there's one, in this case, there's pond mode or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Poverty
But it's just
Poverty mode. And the next thing you know, your parents can't afford the tournament fee and you're benched.
Yeah, that's it.
Press X to
Sorry,
stay
guys.
at home.
Sorry, guys, can't go to Niagara.
That's it. Back to work.
You have selected hitchhiking. Beep, boop, beep.
Yeah. You no longer love your parents. Proceed to your bedroom. All right, so that's more or less what I got for in the news.
In the news.
So you said you had something small techie related you wanted to?
Like not techie, full on techie, but Instagram kind of released their new platform, Instagram TV or IGTV, and it's the way they're kind of marketing it, I guess, or trying to talk it up is as a somewhat of a YouTube competitor. So right now in your Instagram posts, I think you can do like 30 seconds of video of like square or cropped video. If you go into your stories, I think you can get up to a minute before it starts a new kind of video. And then for this one, so for Instagram TV, it's vertical only because they're kind of they're mobile only anyway, and while computer screens and TVs and everything else is in landscape, almost everyone looks at their phone in vertical in portrait, so they're just sticking with that.
Yeah,
and you can record up to 10 minutes at a time now. So if you have a longer story to tell or something like that, and then certain content creators, I think you have to have some number of millions of followers.
Get like VIP status or whatever.
Yeah, so then you can get you can record up to an hour's worth of.
That's where
content.
We need to be, boys.
So, yeah. So I downloaded it as soon as it was available, and going through it, I've kind of just been like, everyone that's using it right now is basically just using it to post whatever their Instagram stories would have been in the first place. And, they're just kind of monologuing. It's whatever. And like, it's already gotten so kind of bloated with stuff that I don't want to see. I wish that it was a kind of a different platform so that not all of my Instagram, not all the people I follow on Instagram automatically go into that. I wish I could pick and choose which ones.
Yeah, that might be worthwhile.
That would be cool because they've already signed on a bunch of people, like a bunch of the high content guys to do some stuff. Like someone's doing a cooking show on there, and it's like, her, and then she's going to get different celebrity creators that come in, and they're just going to be like, all right, let's pick something and we'll cook it and, taste test, and whoever does it better wins, or whatever the case is. I think that makes sense to me, like an actual kind of show, like a television show.
Yeah, like an episode.
Yeah, an episode of something. Not just here's what I would have put on my Instagram video or Instagram stories, just longer. And I feel like that's what it is right now, and it's really hard to weed out. I don't know. I guess I'm mostly saying like I'd rather watch my friends' stuff on Instagram stories and watch like almost exclusively, the verified, the VIPs, the content creators on Instagram
a different
TV.
Thing. Yeah.
But I don't know, like some of it's pretty cool. I don't know. I think it would be cool to get on that, but I think that it's also going to be really hard to get noticed if you're already on Instagram and you don't have the followers. I don't think you're going to gain them by
doing
you're not going to be big on Instagram TV.
No.
But it seems pretty cool. I'm going to keep playing around with it and like we're gonna just put we're gonna put on the first few minutes or first whatever 10 minutes ish of our show, and then just leave a link to watch the rest of it.
That's smart. And then go from there.
So
until we get hour-long status, and then we'll
then we'll be like, screw this YouTube live stuff. We're just gonna go on Instagram TV. And we'll be able to, because they have like video chat and stuff, so we can do that.
Just do it through there,
yeah. But it's also I was watching some stuff. I can't remember who it was, but what they did was because it films only in portrait, or it only displays in portrait. I forget who it was, but they basically took their landscape YouTube video and made it like
reformatted it, so that it's like
different. This, and then just like blank stuff on the top and bottom. So now I'm watching a landscape video take up, a third of my screen, just so that they're on Instagram video or Instagram television. And I was like,
excessive.
this is ridiculous. This is not what it's for. But I don't know. It could be really cool. Like, it's way better than anything that Snapchat is doing with their like Discover, their stories, all that kind of stuff. It's better than that. It's better than whatever Facebook's doing with their stories and their live TV and all that stuff. And because there's so many people just doing stuff on mobile now, it could get really good.
I think it's the direction where we're heading, right?
If their content gets easier to find, then it could be good. Because right now it's like people you follow, popular, and then search for whatever. The one thing I do like about it though a lot is it is kind of like watching TV, where while I'm watching Corey's Instagram TV,
I don't recommend watching that
video, I can scroll through other people's stuff while it's still playing, and then decide to change the channel.
Yeah.
What's on the guide?
So it's like it's pretty cool that way, because you can't really do that for Instagram stories or Snapchat or Facebook or wherever else. You can't, not even on YouTube. It's not like you can, while you're watching, you can scroll through and look for something else. But it's like almost instantaneous, where you click on the next one and the video just starts playing right away, and then you go back and the video starts playing from where you left off. So that's one really cool thing. I'm excited to see where it goes. I just think that right now it's already become too bloated with like
people already abusing it in the wrong ways.
Exactly.
I feel as though that thing is geared towards reaction videos.
Yeah, sort of is.
Just people grabbing their phones, recording that they just watched the show and the show changed their life.
Yeah. Oh my God, Big Brother's on.
I hate reaction videos. There's some people I follow on Twitter that's like, here, check out my reaction to Westworld Season 2, Episode 9.
Yeah. And then you're like, where's the mute button?
It's just like, who cares what you thought of an episode you just watched?
Who the hell cares?
Maybe we've gone too far with the whole, social media being in charge of your own soapbox kind of thing. Like,
yes, I 100%
as we say,
agree.
I know as we say that as we do our own podcast that has single-digit viewers, but
hey,
I think there's
dozens.
There are dozens.
There's at least 3 or 4 of ours that are like making sure it posted correctly, and then I misspelled this title. I'm gonna go back and fix it. Oh, there's another view.
I just think what Corey's getting to is like for example, like reaction videos. Like, does anybody really actually show interest in that? Like, does anybody?
Our
really
heads are up our asses now. It's ridiculous.
It has gone really, really bad. I think that's the point I'm trying to get at.
It's like, not everyone needs to have an opinion on everything.
No.
Yeah. And it's getting harder.
And that opinion does not need to be out for everyone to find.
It's cool to have your own kind of free speech and like kind of have your voice heard. I totally get that. But I think there is an extent to which, other people are expected to care about that.
Okay, let's put this. We all have Facebook accounts.
For now,
right?
yeah.
For now, yes. Like everybody. Now, let's rewind the clock back. Let's say 13 years ago, 2005. The bulk of what you saw on Facebook was somebody saying that they're going out here, they're doing this, they're doing that. Now you go on there, and if someone has a kid, it's nothing but photos of their kids, and it's like we're talking like 200 photos at a time. There's somebody sharing some political opinion.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
With no comment other than this person said this, who retweeted this, or has that, and it's an image of. Or again, it's someone putting just, oh my God, I was at this place. This person said this. I said this, and again, it's again, as Ryan said, a soapbox. But like, at what point is it? Again, it's just too much.
I think the point is now.
The one thing that I do like, it's a lot easier and a lot more convenient, I guess, to write that on Facebook or hit the share button on Facebook.
It's fast.
Yeah, and like that is it's like a one-click situation. Same with Twitter. You just hit retweet and maybe add one line of like your own commentary.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Yeah, but there is a larger kind of barrier of entry if you have to sit there and record yourself saying something. So that's one thing. But I mean, at the same time, the people who are going to do that are like, they're going to do it anyway.
Well, here, I'll put this out to you. I was talking to a guy at work who was saying that there was an incident where he was at an event where somebody had a heart attack and they tried to clear the row out so they can have PMTs come out where he was at. And you're asking people to move, and what someone doing is they're turning around with their phone to take a picture of themselves with the person getting the defibrillator on him. And that's the world we're in now.
That's awful.
Like, that's what we do.
The thing is, it's not only one person.
Somewhere and ask someone to hold your phone while you take a picture, but then 99% of the photos you took of a trip you went on was what you were there to see. Now you don't care what the picture's of, as long as you're in it and you're in focus.
My favorite is the one of kids and stuff at like hockey games, like sport events, and they're actually watching the game through their phone.
Yeah.
And I remember telling one kid, being like, "Kid, you realize, like, put the phone down. Like, you're literally at it."
There.
Yeah.
No, you got to record it so you can watch it again later.
Yeah.
And say, "I was there."
No, what you got to do is snap it so that people see it right now, but then forget about it in a day.
Exactly. Hence Instagram story. Easy.
Yeah. Exactly.
There was
don't save that shit.
There was an image I saw. I think I'm not sure it was during the royal wedding or if it was someone just shared it around that time.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna say Royal Rumble there. But keep going.
No, that's different.
That's Monday nights.
And it was a picture from this guardrail. There's a little lady surrounded by, like, millennials and stuff with their phones out snapping a picture, and she's just sitting there watching.
That wasn't from the royal. That was.
It was. That's why I think it was more. It was just shared around that time. About,
it was. I think it was like it was a generic picture, but then they're like pretty much what's happening at the royal wedding.
Exactly.
Or at any concert ever, or at any sort of event ever. And like I'm super guilty of that. Like I like to take pictures of a lot of things to remember, like where I've been and what I saw and stuff. Like Corey said, most of them I'm not in them. I'm still in the, like, I want to take a picture of what I saw to remember it. It doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be me there. Like I'm not taking these pictures to post anywhere. I'm taking them for my own memories and stuff. So like that kind of stuff, like, I take pictures at concerts too, and I take videos at concerts, but I'm not watching the concert through my phone. I usually have the phone somewhere, but I'm still like, I'm watching, but it's so that I can remember that moment.
But how many times have you looked at it 3.5 years later and been like, "Hey man, want to watch these fireworks I saw Canada Day 2015?
Not that often, except for when Google or Time Hop or another one of those apps is like, "Hey, remember when you were at this concert?"
Like 3 years ago.
Yeah, like that happened to me a while ago because I was in Boston for the Coldplay concert a few years ago, and
that's another story. Remember a Coldplay concert?
Yeah, that's another story.
I love Coldplay. But it was great to have a
Last
remember these
episode of the show.
Remember from this many years ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I had not forgotten about it, but I was like, I took a lot of pictures on that trip in Boston, and it was nice to kind of have that memory come back. And most of them weren't of me; it was of like things we saw.
You know what's a fun story? I went to Boston. I remember that trip. I have no pictures.
Do you remember
what's funny?
I went to Boston.
I remember every trip I've been on, and
bullshit. I call bullshit on it.
I've probably only been on 5 trips in my life. So
I went to Boston. Don't remember the trip. Tons of pictures.
See, we're opposite ends of the spectrum here.
2 different breeds.
Ryan, what you got? Argentina is still surviving, right?
Yeah, I'll make this quick. Argentina made it. Thank the Lord. It's good to know that, I come from a heritage of winners.
I want to see your Ancestry.com profile and find out where this Argentina...
it was destroyed in the fire. I don't like talking about it.
The great fire of whenever Argentina and you connected.
Yeah. And Germany lost to Korea, which I think nobody saw.
Germania is out.
Yeah, so the Koreans are loving that right now, even if they don't carry on. But yeah, I'll leave it at that.
My favorite meme I've seen so far about that is the episode of The Simpsons where Bart starts working at the strip joint.
Yes.
Yeah. And Abe walks in. So it's like it's that, except sitting where Bart is like the World Cup trophy.
Yeah.
And then Abe walking in, Germany walks in, puts his hat, walks out.
And grabs his hat. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
I was dying at that. It was so good.
And it was the last 3 champs have been knocked out before the round of 16. I think they said.
Last 3 champs would be Spain. Germany, Spain, and Italy in that order.
Did that actually? I thought this was like and
it's Germany's
much bigger than normal surprise.
Yeah, Germany going out is pretty huge.
Yeah, I think that was 80s or something was last time they didn't make
1990 was the last
1990.
time in the group stage.
80s, 90s, same difference.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Well, the 80s happened in Canada in the 90s, so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but Argentina's still in with Germany out. Who can stop them? Iceland? I don't think so.
Yeah, they wish.
They wish.
Okay, wait. I have something I read about the World Cup today. Japan made it in. Was it Japan? Some team made it in.
Yeah, I think they're
so the new, I guess, tiebreaker at one point when it gets down to like 5 or 6 level of ties later it's called like fair play or sportsmanship or something.
Spirit points, basically.
Yeah, and it is
the City of Ottawa League.
Whoever had the most fun.
No, and it was basically whoever got the least amount of penalties or like least amount of yellow cards.
I don't necessarily hate that. I think that's actually pretty good.
So yeah, it's a new thing that they, I guess, like finally got to try this year because it's really never happened before. But whoever it was, they had the same record. They had the same goal for, goals against. When they played each other, they tied. And just like, 5 or 6 levels of things to decide, and then finally they're like, all right, we got to use this one. And it was, I can't remember if it was least number of penalties or just least number of yellow cards. But that's how they advanced. The other thing is they found out with like half of their game left, pretty much, they were losing. And they were like, well, we're already in because as long as the other team doesn't score another goal, because then we would have one more goal against. So then the last like 10 or 20 minutes of the game or whatever, they just like hung back and the other team had already won the game. So they didn't really try and attack, and fans were booing. Everyone was mad about it. But like, yeah, on the one side, I'm like, that's a great way to incentivize people to like not take those penalties and stuff, because it might be a deciding factor in those
games.
But then the downside is if you know that you're going through and you don't really try, like that sucks too.
Yeah.
But I guess it comes.
The World Cup was never really known for like maintaining its entertainment value.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they really don't care about that. They're more about, the quote unquote integrity of the sport or whatever,
Yeah.
like making sure that
And like
it's,
even the coach and the players were saying like, yeah, you know, we just wanted to advance. We wanted because anything can happen after. Like if
that's a logical approach to it.
They were like, we just wanted to advance. Sorry, fans. Sorry, viewers. Sorry, whatever. But we're into the next round.
Yeah, let's put it this way: they'd be a lot more upset if they weren't moving on. The fans would be doing a lot more. So just let them do what they want to do.
Yeah, but I thought
you're welcome for it.
I thought it was a good way to.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that.
Like not as like the first or second thing, but when you get down 6 or 7 levels, I think that's a good way to.
Figure it out at that stage.
It's a shitty way to lose, but it's a good way to win.
Yeah, well, don't take so many penalties.
Yeah,
it's not that hard.
exactly.
Yeah. All right, Cor, you're up. Bring us home.
Oh, geez. The drama. Not much of a story, but I thought it was just the title alone that was funny. This one's out of Manchester, England. So it's the BBC News.
Manchester United.
They're not united much longer. So it says finance boss stole 370,000 pounds from his firm and bought kittens.
What?
like that amount worth of kittens, or just stole that money?
He stole money, and then he used a good portion of it. So a building firm's finance boss siphoned off nearly 370,000 pounds and the company cash to fund a lavish lifestyle that included buying pedigree kittens, a court heard. Matthew Fairmond admitted to 12 counts of fraud by pretending to pay the cash to charities and also one offense of money laundering. The 41-year-old of Buckshaw Village was jailed for 4 years at a Bolton Crown Court hearing. Police said he had been the biggest threat to the firm's finances. They said Fairmont and his partner had lived way above their means and had been able to put down £150,000 deposit on a house with the stolen money. Greater Manchester Police said Fairmont, who was a finance manager at a company in West Houghton, created false invoices to cover the payments into his own account. His crimes were uncovered when 2 check stubs were found showing unplanned large payments to charities.
Yeah, I think I heard about this. I didn't hear the kitten part though.
Further investigation revealed that the cash had actually been paid into Fairmont's bank account. Fairmont's role was to safeguard the finance interests of the company he worked for, but he was the biggest threat to their hard-earned funds. That he would deceitfully take money from the company he'd worked for is one thing, but he should be ashamed of the fact that he hid his fraud by pretending to pay charities.
Yeah, but you bought a bunch of kittens. I mean, doesn't it
Right?
upset it?
When he went to jail, though, what happened to the kittens?
Well, I guess his partner, if it's his live-in partner, kept the kittens.
Well, then that's fine.
But the only disappointing thing is I thought I read what they were, but it doesn't say in this one what the kittens were like. What kind of kittens? They're tabbies, and that was a waste of money.
Siamese hairless kittens.
No, I think he was just defrosting a chicken.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's it.
That's all.
All right. So
I usually like to hear the ones about,
people dying,
violence. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a horrible person, but the ones where the dogs get eaten and the hot dogs to the face, I think those are so much better.
I had one about a badger that buried a full cow, but I lost the link.
That's okay. We'll save that one for next time.
I gotta find it again.
We'll do a teaser for next week.
All right. So follow us socially, facebook.com/open collar podcast. Also go there for more information about how you can save 30% off at 80stees.com, our sponsor of this episode and the next few episodes. Michelle Sheth, Ryan Karkner. This is Corey Bullis. Keep it casual.